So good morning. This is Desiree Doubrox, and I'm the founder of An Empowered Woman and Homework. And homework is where you live where you work where you live, anywhere in the world. And every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., we meet for coffee and conversations where we discuss different items of interest, topics, programs, products for women professionals and entrepreneurs. So today, we've been getting a lot of information or a lot of questions about co-working, co-living, what the difference is. So I'm going to share with you what it is. But briefly, I've always worked for myself as an entrepreneur. Somebody said it the other day that I've never had a W-2. It's just I never looked at it that way. But I've been a realtor and a broker and a real estate investor since 1989. And then, as I mentioned, I founded Powered Woman in 2007, but also the founder of Homework, which was founded in 2017. And how that happened is that I was, an empty nester. My sons had went off to college, and one of them had already graduated, was gone. I was single, and I was an entrepreneur, but I wanted to continue to live in luxury properties. I didn't want the maintenance and the managing of all of it by myself, and I didn't want to live by myself. I realized that, you wait for the years for your kids to get out of the house, and since they're out of the house, then you want someone in the house because it was just, it was too quiet. I like the movement. So I thought, okay, I just want someplace where I can live where I work and work where I live. So I started looking around, and then maybe like for you, you may just gotten laid off, or you just retired or transitioning to doing your own thing. A lot of people since the pandemic have made some great big transitions, or you're just anxious to pivot into something that's more exciting and profitable. This is kind of the perfect time where you can decide what do you want the rest of your life to look like. Or some people just want to invest in real estate but need to learn some proven and profitable systems. Maybe they're not attracted by the long-term rental or by the fix and flips or some of the other asset classes that are out there. But or they currently have properties. A lot of you have currently have rental properties, and you want to minimize your risks and maximize your profits. So looking at so this is the perfect time to take advantage of the exploding co-living, co-working, short-term travel industry. So it's the, coming out of the pandemic, again, you may be wondering like how you're going to market your goals and how you're going to market your real estate. So we mentioned that some of them are transitioning. Some people are looking for something new. Some people are thinking about it themselves, like where they're going to go next. Now that they're not confined to work close to live close to a work, they can have more freedom and flexibility. So if you look at some of the co-living spaces, there are a few of them that's been out there. There's Outsite. They have about 18 locations throughout Rome. It's really common and popular in areas like Bali, where they get hotels, small hotels, and they convert the rooms, and then they use to create a kitchen and co-working space. But usually it's for larger people, like maybe 20, 30 people at a time. And then Common has a combination throughout. So those are the co-living spaces. And then there's a lot of co-working spaces that are on the rise. One of the bigger ones that we know of is WeWork. They're all over, and they've grown tremendously. The Wing was originally designed as a WeWork, and WeWork eventually invested in the Wing as for women. So their design of the place was like pink and softer colors. They had a nursing room and things of that type. And there's another one called Spaces. And there's a lot of them now. If you start Googling co-working spaces, they just grown and grown and grown. But the combination, with co-living and co-working, that's a real game changer. So you have to think about Airbnb meets WeWork. So being able to combine the two, because a lot of people do work from home. So it's being able to create for that. So technically, what is co-working, co-living? It's the practice of sharing living spaces by individuals to facilitate a collaborative and a flexible work style within a structured atmosphere. And each occupant has his or her own personal space, usually bathroom and bedroom, and they share public spaces like the living room, kitchen, dining rooms, etc. And then they also share a co-working space with the aim of enhancing their work efficiency and productivity. So it's just being able to take the homes or the buildings and be able to combine the two. And basically they can be there. They can live and work full-time, part-time as a drop-in. So it has a lot of flexibility. You don't have to sign a lease. You don't have to, commit to a long-term term period. You're just able to kind of, if you're going 3 months here, 3 months there, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people you found that were traveling around all over the world, not just even the United States, a couple months here. As long as you had a computer and a phone, you were able to do your business. So some of the spaces that people are working on, the guest rooms. So the guest rooms, your bedrooms, again, usually have a workspace in there. So some of them are larger, obviously the smaller ones, but it can be a guest room that people currently have, or can be a guest house. A lot of you have casitas or guest houses, or you can convert ADUs. People have been using garages and converting them to really beautiful spaces. So they can be as elaborate or they can be as simple as you want. But, again, it depends on whether you're doing it within a hotel or a home, or we have just recently found a rooming house, a boarding house that we're using and converting. So what you want to do is you want to have, some of them have conference spaces, conference rooms. What we did is we have a dining room can convert to a conference room. And then we took the family room, large family room, and converted to a classroom by putting the tables and chairs, or you can use an outside patio area. You can create a special event space, where someone has launches, book launches, or they're doing a launch of a program, or they're doing a large meeting, a masterminds, things of that type. And then you want plenty of outdoor space. I don't know if you can hear the movement I have behind me. They have plenty of outdoor space so that people can actually be indoors and outdoors. It just makes it a little more appropriate and a little more fun. But you can have groups. You can have, like, we have a three-car garage, but one's a separate bay. So we converted that bay into a studio. So we equipped it with for photos, podcasts, and videos. So it has a green screen in it, it has the camera, it has the lights. A lot of times people want to do those, but they don't have the space or the room in their home. So they're able to do it actually in a studio. You can have office space. It actually has an office that we use an office space. So you can create different spaces within the space that you actually have. So what are the advantages? Okay, the advantages are, quite a few advantages. One of them, for example, is comfort of a home instead of the hassles of a hotel. Like some people travel for work a lot. They go there either, pharmaceutical sales or different kinds of sales where they're constantly in and out of a hotel. Well, the hotels, each time you go in and go out, you got to go to the parking, you got to find parking, you got to schlep your things into the check-in, you got to check in, you're in different rooms, you unpack only to pack again a couple of days later. You're subject to or held hostage to the room service. Whereas at whatever time they're open or whatever they have, being able to do that, sometimes it's hard to maintain a good diet, and it could be very expensive, but it's very inconvenient. Being able to be in a co-working, a co-living space, you have a space where your things just stay there. Each time you're going in town or to that location, your things are there. So you don't have to schlep, extra coats or computers or hair dryers and things like that around. You're also able to, it's more secure. You know where you're going and not traveling around at night trying to find a parking space. Again, they usually have private living space or communal areas. So if you wanted to have a meeting, if you wanted to have an event, if you want to have, whatever it is, that you have the space to be able to do that. And it's just a community-centered environment. A lot of people realized during the pandemic, they don't want to be alone. They were quarantined, and that was not pretty for a lot of people. They just didn't want to be alone. So they realized they enjoy being around people in some kind of capacity. So that was huge. They said that even loneliness and depression from during the pandemic was from 8.5% before to 31% after the pandemic. And that's just, that number I'm sure will be increasing. So you have activities and communication, and minimizes depression and loneliness. And it's more economical. You pay for one fee, covers everything. Usually that fee will cover, the accommodations, will cover the amenities like toilet tissue, paper towel, soap powder, things that type, the basic things, coffee, tea, those basics. And also all the utilities are covered. All your Wi-Fi, great Wi-Fi is covered. Your Netflix, your TV options and things of that type is usually covered. Housekeeping is usually covered. Your towels, your sheets, your linens, things of that type are usually covered. So some of them, so it's just a great way to be able to just, to pay one check and you know what your billing, what your expenses are going to be. Now, some places vary, but most of them will cover all those expenses. Some places have an option where if you want to move your things in, for a period of time. If you're doing longer term, then you can do that. But most of them are fully furnished, and you come in. Then you have all the business amenities, fax machines, copy machines. Again, a work area that if you are a presentation, we have the whiteboard, we have PowerPoints, a large screen, TV for PowerPoint presentations. So different facilities will have different amenities that you don't want to cover or don't want to accommodate alone. So what are the disadvantages? And the big question is it for you? Some of the disadvantages is that, even though you have your private space in your room and you're able to work there, there is movement in the house. So if you like completely quiet spaces, you can't have any distractions or can't work with any distractions, and that wouldn't be a fit. If you don't like seeing other people in the morning, some people are really are not morning people, let's put it that way. And so they don't want to go to get down and get coffee and say hi to 2 or 3 or 4, or some of the larger places, 5 or 6 or 10 people. They really enjoy working alone. They concentrate better. They enjoy being alone. They don't like sharing. You have usually shared spaces, like sometimes the kitchen, the refrigerator will have shared shelves and shared spaces in the refrigerator. We had one instance where a young lady, she put Post-its on everything. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, even though she had a special space for herself. So that was not conducive to a co-working, co-sharing, because you just have to have a mindset of be willing to share, but also be willing to have people share your things. And then again, mostly if you just don't want to be around people, that's really, if you don't enjoy that, you need to be for you. So it's really important to see if it's for you, because some of them, you have different smaller spaces where maybe there's only 2 to 3 other people in the properties. But then again, sometimes you have 12, 20, depends on how large the property is. So, maybe some spaces, small spaces may be better for you, but some of the other spaces are. Sometimes depends on the parking. Are you amenable to, moving your car? Like some properties, they have minimal parking, so you have to move your car to get somebody else in and out. Little things like that. It could be considered part of the process, or it could be considered an inconvenience. So you have to kind of know yourself. This is not cut for everybody. There's enough people. My thought is enough people that enjoy it, that it's perfect for them. And then previously, prior to the pandemic, it's really been marketed towards digital nomads and millennials, people that are creatives, that went from, that were creative arts type people. Now, since the pandemic, it's actually, there's like 10.9 million Americans that are now working remotely. And it's increased from 48% just from 2019. And I think all of you know of somebody, if not yourselves, that started working from home. Or know someone who's been working from home. And some of them will go back to the office space. Some will do it part-time as a hybrid, but some will continue to work remotely. Then this is perfect for them, because they can now work and live anywhere as long as they, finish their work. A lot of employers have found out that it's more profitable for people to work from home. So as a person that's maybe considering entering this industry, investing in this industry, you may be wondering, how do I make money? I'm going to show you a couple examples. This is just a simple example if it's a 6-bedroom house. So you may have a house, or you may say, I want to rent a house, or I want to purchase a property. So you don't even have to own the properties that you use as co-working, co-living. You just have to check with the area permits, licenses, and if they have HOAs, check within the CCNRs as to what you can and can't do. But a simple example would be that in a good area, the single family rent home would rent for $6,400. Whereas if you had 2 people that were full-time at $3,200 or $6,400 right there. If you had some people part-time, those are people that maybe have a home someplace else, but constantly come into this area for work or for visiting their college kids, or they maybe someone in the Marines or something at that point that they constantly come to an area, then they can be part-time, and that's $3,000. Then you have a drop-in. You can have 2 bedrooms designated for a drop-in where they stay only $200 a night, and they stay maybe a day or 2 days or a weekend. And so at 50%, this is not even 30 nights a week, at 15 nights a week, it would still bring you $3,000. So immediately you would be able to over double the amount of revenue you would have from a single family residence. So in your expenses, yes, your expenses will be a little more. You have more Not necessarily, because even in a 6-bedroom house, you're going to have at least, 4 or 5, 6 people that are still using utilities and so forth. But let's just say your expenses was more. Your operating income is 12,007, and your mortgage payment would remain the same. And then your cash flow a month would increase from $340 a month to $7,600 a month. And then yearly, it would increase from $4,000 a year to $91,000 a year. That's just the difference by investing and getting involved in the different properties. This is one revenue stream. That's just the numbers of the room. So now I mentioned to you, we're in escrow for a property that it's a single family home, but it has 12 micro units in it. And it has 12 doors, each one has a bedroom and a bathroom. They have a guest bathroom rather, and then they have a common kitchen. They have a common barbecue area, outdoor patio with a large screen TV area, the coffee bar area. And so right now they're renting it out by the week, like $330 a week. By us renting it out a day, even if it was $100 a day, and I say 6 days a week, we're doubling the revenue. So we're able to double the revenue from $300 a week, whatever, to $600 a week, just by changing the format or doing the co-working, co-living. So it's increased, so it's amazing revenue that can be, generated from it, especially those of you who are short-term rentals. So the revenue and the cash flow that short-term rentals can be. So what makes it so awesome though is that this is under one roof. So some of the expenses that you'd have, and even multi-residential properties is you have the one. As far as the utilities, as far as the heating, the plumbing, the electricity, all the good stuff is just under one roof. So there's other ways of making revenue, generating revenue. And one of the things that we've done is that we also represent others who have guest houses, guest rooms, and vacation rentals. So we simply do it we started out doing it as a percentage because we were handling all the bookings and the check-ins and check-outs and things of that type. Now we just simply handle it as a marketing arm. And we just simply say we have a community that we would market your property to, and we have a digital magazine that we included in. And so each one of these properties, there's 4 that we were doing that month, we have different properties. And there's a video to each one of them. So the video goes directly to the property owner. So they or wherever their site is as well, where they have their check-in and check-out. So some of it's directed to their Airbnb or VRBOs, or a lot of people set up their own websites since the pandemic and have more control. So it works towards that. So you can handle other people's properties, and they pay a membership fee to be able to do that. So that's another stream of revenue. Another one would be memberships. Okay, so we are membership based. A lot of the like on-site, and a couple of them are membership based. So you pay a flat membership fee, which gives you title to the different, entitles you to the different properties and different events. So we have different, so we have a membership fee, and they pay annually, and they're able to access the different events that we have. Some of the events are including live events. We have different dinners and breakfasts, and we had launches, and we had just different type of events that we have where people can get together. That's different, and that's great in the sense that people that were living in the property, all they had to do is come out of their room, and they had events that they would walk into a room full of, other like-minded people. Our niche is women professionals and entrepreneurs. There's all different types of niches. Some people's niches have for writers, whereas the space would be differently, obviously a lot quieter. There's a lot of painters and creative type people. There's also people that are in the tech. They have houses where people, just everyone in the tech industry. They have some that are based on their revenue. Everyone makes $100,000 or more. They're living together. So you can have different niches and whatever you like. Our niche happens to be businesswomen, professionals, and entrepreneurs. You can also have a digital magazine. This is the magazine that we have where we have, again, events and different speakers come to events. The Let's Talk Success is where we interview every month women who built $1 million businesses, and they share their stories, challenges, victories, and secrets to success. So this was a Valentine's event that we had. And so we do that virtually, and we'll continue doing that virtually, but we'll also add in some live events when things really totally open up. These are more of again, the magazines and the women. So just having that involvement and being involved in it, that's a virtual event that we do. We've used to do it on second Sundays. Now we've changed this and things are starting to open up to Monday evenings, the third Monday of the month. Our next one is on Monday, the 19th. That way the people that want to be out on Sundays can be out, but they can join us on Monday nights. We have a book club. You know, the book club is for our memberships, it's also for our members. So wherever you are, if you're in one of the homework properties, as being a member, you're able to tap into our book club. And like for last month, we had Barbara Hudson, who is the writer of Rewire Your Wealth. So she was actually our live guest on that book club meeting. So sometimes it's the author, sometimes it's a special guest, but it's a great way for people to get involved and stay connected. We also have masterminds. We're launching a big mastermind now for the master class where we are being mastered. We have our mentors are Sarah Blakely and Robin Roberts, and just people that are amazing, that are really good at what they're doing. So to be able to tap into something like that and to be a part of that, it's huge. We also have different events. So we had a photography event a couple times this year where some of the ladies, even ladies in line, was able to come to run the facilities and get beautiful photographs taken. We had a cooking event where people have used the facilities and did a cooking show for the San Diego magazine. They can have different events they can be a part of, or they can just see, or you can use the facility for. We have our coffee and conversations on Wednesdays, which is where we are today, where different women, different members can spotlight their businesses. Every week it varies, the topic varies. We also have shop homework. You can be able to create. We've added our collection for them. We can be able to create product lines that people can sell when people are here, or when people have welcomes. When people come in, we will give them a mug to take home with them, or we'll give them the bag. Now we're using a lot of bags since people are using bags for shopping and so forth. It's good for us. It's good for them. They get a bag, we get promotion. So when people constantly ask about it. So it's different ways that you can continue to generate revenue, and it does add up. You know, some of these streams are just more passive and some of them are active. But, you know, obviously the big thing is the rental. But once you have that captured market, whatever your niche is, you can be able to, be able to market to them. So, so the need of the concept enables one to travel and enjoy the freedom and flexibilities to live and work anywhere in the world. And that's where Homework was born. And that's why we think it's perfect for, the timing, again, especially now. So there's a couple of different ways that you can participate. If you currently have rentals, or you're ready to purchase an income generating property, or want to get started with a lease with a little and no money down, then we created a program called Business in the Box, which means that we will train you to work our model. So we do it's a audio, video, online course training, and then we have 3 days actually in our facilities where we're going to show you the kind of linens that we're using, even the mattresses that we're using, the pillows, the menus, how to structure your cabinets, your spaces, how to make your rooms flux. We call it flux rooms, where the rooms can fluctuate from a conference room to a yoga studio. Being able to really work it in the hands-on, being able to actually do that. Your welcome baskets, the little extra things, whether it's flowers for your guests and things of that type, how to do those things, how to arrange them, but also how to do it very economically, how to buy things on consignment stores, what you can buy in consignment stores and what you can buy, what you should be buying new. So a lot of those different things. Some people get into the business and they work their way through it. They make the mistakes and they figure it out eventually. But those who don't want to do that, just actually want to just get into business, they can participate in the Business in the Box program. And we're just launching that. We'll be launching that for next month. Another good thing is that you also are tapping into a community. So immediately you have access to our community. Your property would be featured. We do a launch and a live launch, and people will see your property, and you'd have access to any of our community members that want to stay at your properties. You're also able to work as an affiliate, which means that anyone that comes in and becomes a member, you get your affiliate fee. Anyone that buys any of our products, you get an affiliate fee. Anyone that participates in any of the paid program, you get affiliate fee. So you're able to, instead of setting all these things up yourself, having to set up the book clubs and the masterminds and the events and so forth, you're able to tap right into that with our system and be able to be paid affiliate fee. So you make the investment in front to learn all the processes, but you can easily recap that investment by being an affiliate. And then you have the constant mentoring, you have the masterminds, you have all the things that you just automatically are locked into. So that's a great way to get started, to be able to cut the learning curve and to minimize, the risk and the pain and aggravation. Or you can invest with us. As I mentioned, we have a project that we're closing in a couple of weeks where we have 12 units. And what it is currently, it's a rooming house and a boarding house. And it's been like that since day one. I was built in 1905 and was just remodeled in 2020. The advantages of that is that we don't ever have to worry about being shut down, because we're grandfathered into that short-term living. So a lot of people are concerned about, worrying about, we had a woman last night on a presentation that was in Santa Monica, and she had like 12 properties. She was raking it, but they shut her down. So when something like that happens, that's all her revenue. So now she's investing with us because it's much safer to invest in with somebody else. You'll still be able to make a great return. You get, percentages on your income. You get a windfall because you're buying property. You'll get a windfall, waterfall at the end. So you get to split the equity of the property, and you still get the returns, and you don't have the headaches and the aggravation of worrying about that. So it's an opportunity. When is interested in that, just feel free to contact us and we'll give you more details about it. But it's just being able to invest in the co-working, co-living. And I just want to thank you. There's my sweet little, I used to have Pomeranians. I've had like 3 or 4 Pomeranians. And so when I saw this picture, it just reminded me of my little loved ones. But, that is an idea. So now, questions, ideas. I'm going to stop the recording. And I want to thank you for joining us.